so photogenic. All my life I better go get her. Wake up in the morning, kiss my son, then go get it. Top floor, top dog, like I just signed a TDE. Gang, 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 gang. Know we all gotta eat. Up late bills due.
The folks here, they are bundled up, but they're ready for football as you get a look at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Ready to get us started, it's Cade York, and off we go from Cleveland. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. The drive will start with an option going left. Oh, he's got a little daylight. The 40. The 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Well, we've certainly seen this before, CD. No one can quite electrify a crowd like Lamar Jackson, and really don't know what else to say other than that was special right there.
I think you pretty much said it all, but I go back to what you said about electrifying a crowd. He's also electrifying us, and we're calling the game. This guy is simply sensational.
Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throw left side complete. That's Grant. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one goes for 36 yards. Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And if you're wondering how fast he was going, Next Gen Stats clocked him at close to 21 miles an hour. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. The Browns had 6 and 7, a game under 500 on the year. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset, being in the right frame of mind. And the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. And I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. Now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
While the ultimate result was an incomplete pass, they sure look like a well-coached team, because once he got outside of the pocket, the scramble rules come into effect. And a lot of the guys who ran deep routes, they come back closer to the line of scrimmage. And the running back usually runs a check down. He took it deep, and they gave it a big shot and came up unsuccessful.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And oh no, it's incomplete. Well, it's a touchdown if he holds on, but somehow took his eyes off of it, falls to the ground, and brings up 4th down. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now it's Jackson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
Chubb fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Chubb again.
And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Nick Chubb with his 17th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns have moved out in front.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And the lead is now 10-7.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Charles, you got to think the #1 goal here is ball security. Remember, last drive they coughed it up, then they allowed the touchdown, and now they're trailing on the scoreboard.
Boy, the way you described it makes me think that that one actually hurt them 3 times. The fumble cost them potential points. Then they watched their opponent get a touchdown off of the fumble. And third, they lost the lead as a result. Really tough sequence right there. I don't think coaches have to remind them to hold on to the football. They've just got to find a way to get it done.
And he's got some space here.
Dobbins hit and he fumbles.
And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. It sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime. If you're a good football team, you spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now Watson.
A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Takk McKinley made his way into the backfield.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
The Browns send out their punter now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And there's so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though. Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. But that time, finally a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. It's the former Michigan man, Chase Winovich, who gets in there to bring him down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
on 1st and 10. Watson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Second and 15. Off of play action, it's Watson. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
And, CD, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level. And sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
On 3rd down, here's Dobbins. And the tackle going to be made at the 41 as they stop him a few yards short of the 1st. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. 30, past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Had the option to hand that one off or run it himself, but instead a really easy quick pass.
I like the way they made a decisive decision and got it right to the receiver. One move later, he's in the end zone.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And that makes it a 17-10 score.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
These two teams met in Baltimore. You might remember earlier in the year with the Ravens winning that game. So they'll be looking for the win here in Cleveland to complete the season sweep.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
They run on 1st down as they're able to get this forward for about 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42.
And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
Open man is Duvernay. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up.
This throw taken in by Isaiah Likely. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. Working with a 2nd and 3. They go back to the ground with Dobbins.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Jackson now. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. Remember, as they try to run the ball down here, Charles, this is the #2 rush defense in the league.
So do you accept the challenge up front? Do you get your offensive line together, get your tight end in the ball game and say, I don't care that they're #2. Let's go ahead and show them that we can run the ball anyway? Or do you do the best thing and throw the darn thing and try and get in the end zone?
Maybe that's wiser. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Tucker's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one. So now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Now it's Watson.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Ravens will take over possession here up at the 44.
That is a tough way to start the third quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want. But on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage?
And he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the Browns. Let's see now, Charles. That's 7 turnovers between last week and this week. 3 here in this game, 4 in last week's game.
You know I do my research, right? And I go all the way back to the best coaches that have ever been in this game. And all of them started with ball security in some form or another, understanding that taking care of the ball was the key to winning games. They can't believe what they're seeing right now because they spend all this time on it with the fundamentals, taking care of it, tucking it away, and they're not doing it.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. On the Jets sweep, here's Grant. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on third, Watson. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. It'll be just an 18-yard punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. Offense set at the line for this next drive. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Another run here with Dobbins. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. 84 yards rushing for him now in this one as he is closing in on 1,800 yards for the year. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. And that could turn out to be a giant play, Charles. You got an offense driving to take the lead, but they're turned away on the INT.
And I think that we might look back on this in the 4th quarter and say, that was the play of the game.
The Browns drive about to get started. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Jackson. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Jackson. Flushed out right. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. The 21 yards there as they convert on third. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that one. And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he'll take it across midfield and down the 48-yard line.
Hey, I'm all about defense forcing plays and getting takeaways. But an interception and 2 fumbles in their last 3 offensive possessions.
Time to readjust?
Yeah, you can't just give all the credit to the defense on that. They've got to look in the mirror and take a blame themselves and figure out how to not do it anymore.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Second down, here's Chubb again. And some room to maneuver. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Browns will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright. And it's no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. To throw is Jackson. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now a timeout called for by the offense. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. An option handoff here to Dobbins. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. From the gun, Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson.
Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And, Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball. And that one was picked off.
2nd down, here's Chubb again.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he is going to lose yardage here. 4th down now after a loss of 2. The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Taken in at the 22. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, sometimes an incompletion is the right play. And he showed that he's learned from his earlier interception on that throw. Instead of forcing it, he just tossed it away.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option.
Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go to play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. They toss it left side to Chubb. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be downed inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That's excellent.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot. Now Dobbins again on second down. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Jadeveon Clowney make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down.
You know, as a defensive guy, I don't normally do this, Brandon, but a tip of the cap to the offensive coordinator. Design quarterback run at this stage of the 4th quarter when I expected him to throw the ball, and he got a 1st down.
Yeah, trailing this stage of the 4th quarter. Picked up the 1st, stopped the clock, too.
Yeah, sometimes there's some guts in play calling when you go against the grain because you know you could easily be criticized if it doesn't work out.
Right back to Dobbins on 1st. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They'll go again with Dobbins. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 119 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. And Chubb will try the middle here. And a short pickup here as he'll get up to about the 22-yard line. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the 2nd half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just